top of it, and ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, y'all, man. It's your boy, Coach One Stack, tapping in, man. Hope everybody's having a very, very beautiful Christmas. You dig what I'm saying, man? But hey, man, I got to bring y'all some bad news, because this just came across my table last night, and this is part one. Man, do you realize that one of Snoop Dogg's accusers has come forward and said that he has sexually assaulted them? And not only this, it is a family member. That's right, man. Snoop Dogg has an active case, and she is a Jane Doe, and she is a family member, and she is accusing him of SAing her. Can you dig what I'm saying? Hey, man, this stuff runs deep. See, Snoop ain't been as clean, squeaky clean as people be thinking, number one. You dig what I'm saying? He been stepping out on his wife, and as you'll see in the video, hey, it's a lot of things that's done in that studio, especially when a woman, has a husband and she's invited to make music, but you don't want to let her husband in the studio. You want her to take her husband home, and then you have her at other place. Well, now y'all get the picture, man. But Snoop Dogg is being accused by a very close family member that's calling herself Jane Doe, and this is active as we speak, guys. And this is part one of the video. Let me go ahead and get straight to it, man, because hey, man, Uncle Snoop, hey man, the flesh is weak. And sometimes people, man, your flesh is the hardest thing to control, believe it or not. But here we go.
Serious matter involving one of the most recognizable figures in entertainment, Snoop Dogg. Now, before we begin, I want to be fully transparent with you. An individual alleging sexual assault has reached out to this channel directly to share their account. Now, my goal today is to present the information as it was shared with me while maintaining.
And shout out to Lionel B for this content. Lionel B for this content.
Settled in a legal form. Now, this story involves sensitive themes, so please use discretion while watching. Now, Snoop Dogg, born Calvin Broadus Jr., has maintained a curated public persona for decades. However, legal challenges are not new to his history. To understand the weight of these new allegations, we have to look at the timeline of when this contact occurred and the specific context the individual has provided regarding their interaction with the artist. Now, many of you might ask why someone would reach out to a YouTube platform rather than a traditional media outlet. In our correspondence, the individual expressed a desire for unfiltered space to document their experience. A family member of Snoop provided firsthand accounts of being manipulated into having sexual interactions with Snoop. Now, to make it clear, they are not related by blood, but by marriage. Now, we have spent time vetting the communication and reviewing the details provided to ensure we are approaching this with the gravity it deserves. We are not here to act as judge or jury, but to provide a platform for a story that has, until now, remained behind closed doors. It is vital to state that these are allegations. We have reached out to Snoop's legal team for comment and have yet to receive a formal response. In cases involving high-profile public figures, the legal landscape is incredibly complex, often involving non-disclosure agreements or previous settlements. We will be exploring how these factors play into this specific story as we move forward. Now, over the next few minutes, we're going to walk you through the timeline provided by the individual, the evidence they shared with this channel, and what this could mean for a legacy of one of hip-hop's biggest icons. This is a difficult conversation, but an important one regarding accountability in the industry. It's really been an unfortunate devastation. Nobody hears me. My family has pretty much disassociated themselves from me. My work has been scrubbed from the net. Just when I'm consistently feeling better about accepting what happened to me, something rises up to open up the wound. Come to find out, this hurt will never heal. It'll never go away. My grandfather married Snoop's mother. I'd been working hard in the industry way before that happened. As a matter of fact, the day they got married, I had to show a performance at the Holiday Park Casino. My family and I went from the wedding to my performance. My mother always talked about the day she met Cat in the Hat, aka Cat Williams, and Snoop on the same day. He was the MC/host at the show and introduced me to the stage. Cat met me, my family, and show producer Jerry Jackson before leaving Hollywood Park Casino with high praises of my artistry and words of encouragement. We left there and went back to the reception in Long Beach, California. Around 2006, Jerry Heller discovered me performing in San Diego, California. Heller was interested in signing me, but I was already signed to Def Edge. I was part of a trio group called Diamonds in the Rough, and Heller kept suggesting to our label president that I should be a solo act and my other two male partners be a duo. Now, Def Edge pitched a label deal that ultimately Heller wasn't interested in. Heller continued supporting our shows, as did we. In cross-promotion of his last book, Def Edge continued to perform on shows with acts such as G-Unit, Yin Yang Twins, Biz Markie, Yo-Yo, E40, and more. My younger cousin Alan, who later was given the name Scrap Dog, began expressing his interest in the music industry. So I often took him with me certain places and even put him in a few of my shows. This is right around the time when Grandpa, Howard Green, and Mama Bev revealed to our family their love for one another, and our families became close. Jerry, Baba Bean, Snoop, Boss Lady, Uncle Junebug, and the kids adored my cousin Alan, and he was equally excited. I often picked him up and dropped him off at the Doghouse in Diamond Bar. I used to sing gospel songs for Mama Bev and Grandpa. Now, over time, our families definitely grew closer. We celebrated birthdays with Mama, Shemaiah Worthington, and Bada being Snoop's late baby brother. I'd be over Mama Bev and Grandpa's house with them and Jerry, Snoop's oldest bro, Thanksgiving dinners, and other holidays. It was something special to watch Grandpa and Mama Bev fall in love. But I was never betting on Snoop to put me in the game, just because our family blended. I was already buzzing and doing my thing. Yet, I knew soon enough eventually I'd be in direct contact with him. I was excited, hopeful for the day it would all come full circle. So I continued working and networking per usual. A homegirl from the neighborhood started getting real close with Nate Dogg, and she knew I was an aspiring artist. Now, one night, Nate Dogg invited us over to the Doghouse after they just finished filming some Girls Gone Wild episodes. Now, mind you, I had been there several times picking up and dropping off my cousin already. So when we arrived, it was giving instant movie vibes. Nate Dogg, Warren G, Uncle Junebug, Badass, and Snoop Dogg. Now, Warren G was trying to holler at my best friend, and she basically rejected him. He got pissed and called her some B-words. Trying not to get kicked out and keep the peace, we migrated around the house to the studio upstairs. I remember Snoop was sitting at the soundboard. He passed us a few blunts. Next thing you know, I was high AF, and everything I envisioned saying about my grandpa and his mother was out the window. I literally went mute. Couldn't say one word to him. He disappeared with one of the girls I came with. She swears to have slept with Snoop that night and went back on a few solo trips later until she said Snoop ended up giving her an STD, allegedly. Now, I know I didn't go back there ever again. In 2005, I got married and had a baby. My husband Brian managed my career. He was the funniest guy you would ever want to be around. Such a kind heart. The type of guy to give you the shirt off his back. The kind of friend who you could call and he'd be right there. He was an amazing father, friend, and manager. Now, years later, after the Snoop's House incident, my husband and I met a writer by the name of Shorty. He'd been flown out to LA for writing and singing on a few projects. He took us to a few studios day one. On day two, we went to Chalice Studios where Shorty was possibly to record on Snoop's next album, Ego Trippin'. My husband and I didn't get the same warm welcome like at the other studios. Shorty went inside the main studio where they were working, and he said Snoop would invite us to the main studio soon. I remember just waiting. Finally, when we got the clearance, the gotcha was only me and Shorty could go inside the studio. Now, hindsight is always 20/20. If I knew what I know now, we would have walked in that studio and told him to go F himself. But Shorty was like, you walk in there and get him all your bright energy and light up the room. And I did just that. Now, Terrence Martin was working on Never Have to Worry, and there was serious energy in the room. This is where I'd meet Bad Luck, Demini, and Superfly. Snoop called them Western Union. Now, Snoop said he was interested in working with me, but my husband basically wasn't welcome and told me to take him home and come back. Now, I could kick myself for being so naive, but I did. We argued all the way home. I dropped him off and went back to LA, nearly an hour away. Of course, nobody was there. I continued to stay in touch with Bad Luck and Terrace Martin, who later brought me back to the studio and gave me 2 tracks. Now, one of which I did record and release on iTunes. Now, I had even booked the group Western Union a few shows through my own resources and network. One day, Bad Luck calls and invites me to a Western Union video shoot, and he was all excited because everyone from the West would be there. So this time, I called my cousin Scrap and gave him the rundown to see if he wanted to go with me. And of course, he agreed. So boom, now Scrap and I arrive at this house in the valley, and everyone was there. Not too long after we arrived, Snoop pulls up in his purple and yellow drop classic, the same one he gave to Kobe. So I'm telling my cousin, can you let him know we family? And Scrap introduced me as his cousin and told him that we have the same grandfather. I remember laughing, playfully calling him Uncle Snoop Dogg. Finally, a positive ending or new beginning. I was happy my cousin was there with me this time around so we could make it all make sense. The video shoot wrapped, and Bad Luck said, Snoop wants you to come to the studio. Now, Bad Luck was like, it's a paid gig, and he wants y'all to follow us to the studio. My cousin Scrap and I agreed, of course, because I'm feeling comfortable and safe. Like, I'm with my family. We moved the locations to an unmarked studio. Most of the artists from the video shoot came to the studio to work on the project. It was a decent-sized main studio with at least 2 to 3 smaller-sized studios. There were production rooms and a living room with video game consoles, and the entire place began buzzing with the anticipation of this project. Probably about 15 to 20 people present, and then here comes the champagne. Now, this is a Dog After Dark set at Club Crest in Hollywood. I was invited on set as an extra. I had on a black skirt and a burgundy halter top that tied around the neck. I was invited inside of this tour bus. I do recall I had a drink. My legs started shaking uncontrollably. Then, I don't remember. What exactly happened next on the bus? I can't recall. But the woman's voice in the background is haunting as fuck. Because I think that it was me. It sounds like me. And I don't sound like I'm doing very well. Can't get enough. Click on this.
Now, as you see, she was married into the family, so it's not a blood relative. Man, it's that drug and stuff going on just like with Diddy. You did? See, you got to remember, Snoop and Diddy was tight. See, a lot of y'all wasn't alive, man, back when Snoop first came out. A lot of y'all wasn't even alive when this whole Diddy, East Coast, West Coast thing went down. So it's really funny to watch y'all speak on stuff that y'all don't even really know nothing about. But I was actually alive during that time. And Snoop and Diddy was like this. Maybe that's where Snoop learned how to put illegal narcotics and slip a Mickey on these women and take something, because this is an active case. This ain't allegedly. This is a active case right now, and she is listed as Jane Doe. But hey, man, you know the rest. You know I don't like to keep y'all too long. So make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. And you know the rest, y'all. Be blessed. Don't ever get finessed. Make sure you're getting plenty of rest, right? And hey, never, ever get stressed. And stay up out of trouble like Snoop Dogg should have.